Hey, everybody, this is Dr. Kevin McGovern, and I want to welcome you to the second The Game Show podcast. Again, if you're looking for Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy, or any sort of game show, you've come to the wrong place. GAME is an acronym for Graded Active Movement Exam, and the game show is all about physical therapy, fitness, special guests, answering your questions about health. I want to begin today's episode with part of my GAME test, the upper extremity, 2 tests of the upper extremity. Both tests are kind of unique movements, not meaning unique that the body doesn't do them, but they're certainly unique to my testing. Whereas the lower part of the body, I have things called the lunge and the squat, and I didn't really invent those. But the shoulder is a fascinating joint, right? It is the only joint where we have the humerus connected to a bone, the shoulder blade, which is essentially connected to nothing. It swims in your back, and it absolutely depends on precise movement of the muscles of our back to move correctly. And we all know we're at our desk, we're hunched over, we've got these upper traps that are sore. All of that is affecting proper shoulder movement and could cause lots of things wrong with our shoulders, from rotator cuff tears to thoracic outlet syndrome to all kinds of stuff. So I wanted to share my screen here and kind of show you what we got here, if I can figure out how to do that. Let's see. There we go. So one of the first tests I have is called the free throw test. And for those not watching on YouTube, basically you keep your arm at your side with your elbow bent, and you're going to move all the movement of your shoulder, then your elbow, then your wrist. So basically you keep your elbow bent as you take your shoulder as far back as you can. And what this tests for is really upper trap engagement. And we can see in this young lady here that she's kind of able to freely do it. But if you look at her upper trap, right as she begins to move her arm up, and as we come in for a side view, you're going to see it even more, right? When the shoulder moves, it should rotate up, just like a drawbridge, lift right up. When she gets just about past 90 degrees, she kind of gets stuck, and she's kind of trying to lift her arm up. And that shows me that she has some upper trap involvement, in that when her elbow is bent, the upper trap becomes even more involved for some reason, because it's simulating the flexion pattern of the body, which is, anyone's ever been in the fetal position, that's kind of when we curl up with our elbow if we're cold. That's the flexion pattern of the body, and it's kind of like the go-to position of the body. So that is the free throw test. Very important test. That indicates to me that we have some upper trap involvement that could be leading to something else. So that would be the first test that I would do. The next test is called, I've changed the name 50,000 times, but I think I call it now the scapular coordination test, because I'm looking for coordination of the shoulder blade as it moves here. So we have the same young lady standing here. And basically, you stand up nice and tall and have your palms facing forward, and you do the arm motion of a jumping jack, right? And what I'm looking for here is fluidity, but I'm also looking here because I kind of come in close. What moves first? What should happen is our upper trap should move first and pull our shoulder blade down, and our upper trap should really stay disengaged this whole movement. But our upper trap doesn't like to stay disengaged for very long. So you're going to see right when she gets to about 45 degrees away from her body, that upper trap, especially on the left side, is going to want to get engaged. And now we're at 90 degrees. You can even see her left arm is higher than her right, because the upper trap is really engaging. And then as we come all the way up, she's got these folds in her skin, which that's not necessarily indicative of upper trap movement. But as she comes down and that trap loosens, you're going to see her shoulders just kind of like flop, because her depressors are not helping her shoulder blades. So in this particular patient, that shows me, so this person is someone who's complaining of TMJ, constant headaches, neck pain, shoulder discomfort, right? Those are her complaints. And you could see from her basic movement that, yeah, her movement is out of sync. So there's actually a term for that. It's called and we're going to say this 5 times fast, your scapular thoracic rhythm. I can't even say it once. So scapular thoracic rhythm. And that's on a 3-to-2 ratio. What that means is for every 3 degrees, I lift up my arms, my shoulder blades should depress and turn 2. And that's not happening as soon as we shrug, that's the opposite of what should happen. So how do we fix that? Well, first of all, we have to look at aligning the spine, because she's getting some residual symptoms like headaches and TMJ. That's going to immediately tell me that spine, her spine, is not quite in alignment. Okay? So we're going to have to make sure that is in alignment, and then we're going to have to build the muscles around there to keep that in alignment. So we're going to start off with good old lying in your belly doing butt squeezes. So I could tell you that her glutes were not functioning well, and either were her scapular depressors. So I would do a series of glute clenches. I would then turn her over, get her on a foam roller longitudinally from her head to her tailbone, doing a combo movement of scapular depression squeezes. So we're squeezing our shoulder blades down and back into the roller, and glute squeezes at the same time while laying on your back. That is a very difficult exercise to coordinate, but it is a vital exercise for our health. I consider that scapular depression to be the first building block or first Lego block of movement of our upper extremities, and the glute or squat to be the first building block movement of the lower extremities. And those two movements should function in synergy, because it's protecting our spine, one at the top third and the other at the bottom. So we really need those movements to be precise. So if you're having shoulder pain, TMJ, elbow pain, thoracic outlet syndrome, even carpal tunnel syndrome, 99% of the time, the root cause of that issue is scapular depression problems, or what we call over-facilitated or shrugging upper traps. And those need to be dealt with corrective exercises, and they certainly can be fixed with proper physical therapy. So that's your lesson for today. That's the end of episode 2. Thank you for listening. We can be found on all podcast formats now, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Search Kevin McGovern PT. You will find me. This podcast will be there, as well as other health tips to help you along the way. So thank you for listening, and we'll see you at the next episode.